Quite a few people have asked me to make this video. I have been procrastinating on making this video since more than a year now. Well, I can't procrastinate anymore. It's now or never. I have to tear most of this stuff down as soon as I finish making this video. Whenever I thought of making this video, I would be in the middle of adding something new lights or new shelves, yada yada yada. But now I've cornered myself into making this video. This space comes closest to being my natural habitat. This is a space where I can make things, build things. This is a space where I can play games and stream games. A place where I can read books. And a place where I can work on any of my ideas. It's a space that has a lot of lighting options according to different moods. This space is not exactly a studio. This space is not exactly a lab. This space is also not exactly a makerspace. This space is not a server room. This is just my space. This space has been a work in progress ever since I moved here. Today, let's hit pause on the progress and I'll show you guys how I set up this space. The first thing or things which grab anyone's attention when they enter this room are these two monitors. These are LG 24-inch monitors. Pretty dull compared to today's modern tech, but pretty damn good for their price. They are mounted to a dual monitor arm, which I found on Amazon. If you can do a good job of hiding the cables, they can look super clean. Just look at this. A monitor arm for any setup is a huge upgrade. I highly recommend it. Coming to the speakers, I went from a 6.1 setup at my previous space to a 2.1 setup here. These are the Logitech Z625s. These are some of the best sounding 2.1 sound systems available on the market. Although the number of speakers reduced significantly compared to my previous setup, the sound quality increased a lot. Although these are a bit pricey, when it comes to sound, they deliver. Coming to the keyboard and mouse, this is the Cooler Master Masterkeys Pro L with Cherry MX brown switches. These brown switches get a lot of hate on the internet. I don't understand why. These are great. These are good for gaming as well as typing. And the mouse is a Logitech G402. You won't go wrong with this mouse unless you have like very tiny hands. The keyboard and mouse are sitting on an Amazon Basics extended mouse pad, which is fine. It has sharp edges and gets dirty too quickly, and I guess you get what you pay for. Before talking about the table itself, this is Zoom H1. It is a portable audio recorder, but it can also be used with a desktop as a desktop microphone. It's mounted on this cheap mic stand. It makes it very ergonomic to use and then stow away when it's not needed. Coming to the table, it's basically 4 IKEA height adjustable legs mounted to very big and thick plywood. It's set to an awkward height. I don't know what I was thinking when I set it to this height. It's not tall enough to make it a standing desk, and it's not low enough to go along with normal computer chairs. After setting it to this height, 2 of the legs broke and I cannot change the height anymore. Because of the awkward height, I had to get this bar stool kind of chair instead of a normal computer chair. Over the last few years, I have been upgrading my desktop PC part by part, and currently it is the best version I had imagined it to be. This computer case, the Corsair Carbide 100R, is kind of special. I had to manually cut big holes at the front of the case to increase airflow into the computer. Here are the specs of this machine. You can also check out this video I made a few years ago where I put together this PC. Above my computer, I have these floating shelves and these hexagons. Installing them was the most painful part. Drilling into the walls and positioning all of them right was a pain. I think they look quite good on an otherwise empty wall. Now coming to the server and networking corner. I have two servers. One is sitting on the top shelf here and the other one is sitting on the floor. I also have a KVM switch right here to share the keyboard and a dedicated wall-mounted monitor. I mainly use these servers to run experiments and services like Pi-hole, media servers, hosting web servers, and any experiments involving Linux. And at the top in the network box, there is the fiber modem, the main router, and power supplies and controller for all of these RGB lights. See this red, the blue, and all the things. I have had these RGB lights in this room since a long time now, and even after all this time I have not been able to program these lights and their controllers to enable remote control and a lot of nice IoT features. This is one of the partially failed parts of this setup. It's almost time to tear it down and I still haven't programmed them. It feels bad. I don't have much time, but I still want to program these lights and automate them just for fun. To the right of the networking and the server space is what I call a mini makerspace with a huge workbench. Starting with, I have a wall-mounted monitor which goes along with this, my old laptop. This is an old ThinkPad T430. I still use it for web browsing and programming microcontrollers and stuff like that. I use the workbench for ongoing projects or just dump a lot of things and make a mess, like most days. I also had to make my own makeshift pegboard so that I could mount things, but there was a window behind, so I had to mount this pegboard to the window rails, and then I have these parts bin and a components organizer mounted on top of it so that I can easily access any parts I'm using in an ongoing project or any electronic items I need for the project. And I also mounted more lights to the bottom of the pegboard. I also have my trusty variable bench power supply which I built in this video. Right next to it is my 3D printer, the Creality Ender 5. This has been one of the best purchases for my space. I've had a lot of fun with this printer, prototyping designs and building products from scratch. And at last, I turned this corner into a mini bookshelf with lighting for each shelf. Wiring and hiding all the wires was a total nightmare, but at the end, it looks really cool. Oh, I showed you only two of the walls. What about the other two? Well, let's see. On this wall, I just have a whiteboard, and on this place, I have clothes in that one, camera stuff, computer stuff, and that's it. When I was building out this space, I never imagined a situation where I'd have to tear it down. It took me a long time to convince myself that this was the way to go. You might be wondering why I am tearing it down in the first place. That's because I will be moving to the United States to pursue my master's degree in computer engineering. As of this moment, I am either on a plane or I've already reached my university, depending on when you're watching this. This is a big, scary change. Going from my space to an unknown space on a new continent across the world. I'm a little sad that I'll have to leave all this behind and start over. But at the same time, I'm also excited about all the new possibilities. It is not the end of this channel. I'll still make videos as frequently as possible. The new place will definitely challenge me to come up with more creative ways to make these videos or build things. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for watching this video and stay tuned for more content from a different country. I promise not to become a vlogger.